Well, as I mentioned at the start of the show, my colleague Nick Cater caused a bit of a stir with his column in The Australian this week. He'll join me in a minute, but we are going to ignore that particular storm in a teacup because, frankly, there are even more important things to talk about. And the first of these is the announcement by Donald Trump to make his third run for United States President in 2024. Let's get Nick in to talk about it now. Nick, welcome.
Good to be here, Fred. And I take it when you say storm in a teacup, you mean T is the first letter of the word of a particular social media platform which we treat with utter contempt.
Yeah, exactly. Or T for a particular non-existent political party, perhaps.
That's right. The party that isn't a party. Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, Nick, here's a key grab from Trump's announcement yesterday. Check this out.
So many incredible friends and family here tonight. It's such a beautiful thing. Some people say, how do you speak before so many people all the time? When there's love in the room, it's really easy, if you want to know the truth. It really is. You ought to try it sometime. Together we will be taking on the most corrupt forces and entrenched interests imaginable. Our country is in a horrible state.
What I find interesting about this is that Trump chose to hold his launch, or his announcement I should say, at a ballroom in his home in Florida in front of about 1,000 invited guests. Now, Nick, he used the word love to describe the mood in the room, and you don't hear politicians use that word very often. Perhaps they should use it more often. But anyway, do you think there was a lot of love in the room?
Well, there probably was if he selected the guests. He probably only selected those that do love him. I thought, well, he's got his theme song already, hasn't he? Love is in the air. Can you imagine when he's entering the Republican convention and that music's blaring out of the speakers?
Well,
Most
yeah.
unlikely
Or
look.
he could go with Love Will Tear Us Apart again, but anyway.
Probably more closer to the truth when it comes to Republicans.
Yeah. Well, the Australian media they were horrified to see that Australian mining magnate Gina Rinehart was in the room. I mean, why wouldn't she be there?
Well, exactly. I would have been. He would have been in trouble, in my view, if Gina wasn't there. She's always been one of his firmest supporters, and somebody who's really backed what he's done on the basis of, I think, largely of what he's done for business over there. She respects him a great deal, and also his firmness towards China. And there was, I mean, let's face it, there was a lot to admire in the first Trump presidency, and there was quite a bit that probably we'd be questioning in hindsight. And the question is he the man for the times? Let's see. But I think it's a very interesting development, and the way he's come out, storming out, probably too early out of the blocks, coming out before the midterm elections, as we said last week, and probably the attack on Ron DeSantis was far too direct and personal.
Well, let's get to Ron DeSantis in a minute. What I want to talk about first, though, just staying with the word love, is the mood of this. I reckon by Trump standards, this was a kind of a low-key event.
Yeah.
Why do you think he's going with something a little subtler than his usual style?
Well, I guess it'll become clear over time whether he's decided he needs to be a little bit less, full of himself than he was last time. Maybe he's got the polling that shows that, because I would think that's probably what it's saying. Stand as Trump, but a little less Trump and a little bit more look to the country. But it could be that, or it could be just that he's just finding it hard to make progress against the sort of the genuine red wave that is Ron DeSantis at the moment.